All right, Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the bishops and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well through the scriptures. Peace to the 144,000 and the rest of the hopeful elect. I am the brother Kaya from GMS Indianapolis, the branch of Indiana. The original Gary campus, GMS in Woodland, Ontario 2. And this is breaking news, all right? Israel attacks Iran. And I was watching this here. This is live.
As much as possible.
Let me see. It's live. It's not letting me show you what it is, but you see it on screen. You see the YouTube channel is live, and basically Israel attacked the Iranian research bases regarding nuclear research. And in the process, they killed about 4 or 5 people. 4 or 5 top people, right? They killed, let me see. They killed the leader of the Iranian revolutionary group or revolutionary forces or something like that. They was killing top people. And they even killed like a top scientist, right? And so then Benjamin Netanyahu, he come on and he get to spewing that same tired rhetoric about what supposedly happened during World War II. And you know the conversation, we will not allow this to happen. It will not be another, which that didn't fucking happen. That's a goddamn lie or fabrication. But they use that to justify their current proceedings, right? Here it is. They play, like the elder did a video a while ago, they played the aggressor and the victim simultaneously. And now that's the devil for you, right? So with all this being said, you can see Ezekiel 38 coming into play. Now, another thing, they were very adamant about the fact that America was not involved. They keep trying to push that narrative. America wasn't involved. America wasn't involved. Because supposedly, America told Israel that don't make a offensive move without American backing, without America giving okay. But as you know, like the heathens call, like the other nations, they call America and they call Israel what? Little Satan and great Satan, right? So Satan means adversary and devil means deceiver. And these Israelis, right, they don't adhere by no laws, the Nuremberg laws or Geneva Convention law. They don't adhere by none of that shit. We watching the genocide. We're watching a televised genocide in regard to the Holy Land and the Palestinians and the Israelis and all that blah blah blah. All right, they got them people out there. When the aid come to get them people food and supplies, they destroy the aid, bomb the aid. So we witnessing a genocide, televised, and they don't. It's like the scripture says, they are like the deaf adder that stopped at their ear, not hearkening to charmers who charm never so wisely. Meaning you could come with all the logic you want to come with. You can come with all the information. You come with all the facts, right? All the theories that make sense. They ain't trying to hear that shit. They the wicked. Habakkuk, the soul that is in him is not upright, but the just shall live by his faith. See, the spirit that's in him is not right. It's not going to align itself with sensible things, logical things, righteous things. That's how you know you're dealing with the devil. Esau, Edom. Look, the Israelites, we are Superman. And the Edomites, they're Lex Luthor. Just to put it simple and plainly. But back to what I was saying, Israel wasn't supposed to make an aggressive decision towards Iran without American backing or influence or input. So the whole thing is now, the Americans, they keep saying, well, this was a unilateral decision, basically meaning that Israel made this decision on their own. So in one essence, America trying to stay neutral in regard to that action, but those two particular countries are too locked in. That's why the scripture says the least of the flock shall draw them out. Israel is going to draw America out into more and more and more open conflict as it pertains to World War III. And you know why? Because that's something that they have always done. All right? The American economy, nation, especially the military, has always been the offensive wing of the elites regime. And what race are the elites? All right? The nobles. All right? America, like the scripture speaks about those 3 unclean spirits like frogs, right? In Revelation. Most ancient and even modern societies, they rule, a civilization, whatever. They rule society through finance, right? Military and religion. And you can throw everything else can fit under that banner. You can throw education under religion, because most education got its starting point from religion. So you can throw all those different facets of life under those: finance, military, belief, aka religion. And America has always been the military wing of the daughter of Babylon, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, right? So like the scripture says, the least of the flock shall draw them out. So Israel, they're gonna draw America out, because these strikes and these bombs is supposed to go on for several days. And the first day, breaking news, they already killed 4 to 5 top Iranian leaders. Remember a couple years ago, they killed Soleimani or Salami, whatever. Now they took out 4 tops. The 4 tops. That was a band. That was a group. They took out 4 tops of the different branches of Iranian government or military factions. And then they took out a scientist. And it's day 1. And they say this is supposed to go on for several days. So the Iranians, which are the Persians, that's their real name, they're really the Persians, they're not going to keep allowing you to do this. Y'all been doing this to their leaders for years, man. Now, when you read Revelation 38, not Revelation 38, Salakia, Ezekiel 38, it speaks about Gog and Magog being a guard to the company of nations. And that represents Russia. Because there's a coalition of nations, but Russia is preeminent. They're the ones with top finances, top technology, top weaponry. And they're going to be a guard to these other nations by helping them nations become stronger. Equipping those nations with the necessary materials that they need to become militarily independent, right? And that's what you see in the media, the complaints of the Israelis. Well, they have plutonium, they have this, they have that, where they can make bombs now. Well, you can fucking make bombs. The Israeli, I don't know if this is still true, but at one point the Israeli military was top 5 in the world. And here it is. Here it is currently, as we speak. That's a country the size of New Jersey. But they got but you top 5 in military weaponry. But here it is when these other countries want build up their military, because you have to. Esau Edom, a so-called white man, his blessing is the sword. And he got the fatness of the land through the sword. So if somebody else want the fatness of the land, or they want to enjoy themselves and their lives, they got to be able to battle you. That's why these other countries is, like it says in Joel, turn your hooks, beat your hooks, beat your plowshares into spears. A plowshare is a farming tool. A spear is a weapon of war. So that's why these countries start spending more money into their military versus agriculture. Because if you don't got a military to combat America, you don't got a country to farm. Shit. And so back to the Revelation 38, it said Russia be a guard unto these company of nations. It named Ethiopia. Pardon me, I said Ethiopia. I think it did name Ethiopia, but I was speaking about Persia. Because you got to remember, the Medo-Persians were always connected. In modern day terminology and usage, the Medes would be the Russians, because it's just the same landmass. And the Persians would be the Iranians. So like the scripture said, there's nothing new under the sun. That's why the greatest pact is between those Russians and those Iranians, because that's the Medes and the Persian coming back together in the latter days to fulfill the will of the Lord regarding the destruction of Babylon, right? Because the Medo-Persians took down Babylon in the ancient world, and the new Babylon, the spiritual Babylon, which is America, gonna be taken down by a plethora of things. The coming together of the Medes and the Persians, all right, in the spirit of prophecy, which are the Russians and the Iranians, coupled with the rest of the company, all right, Turkey, Armenia, Ethiopia, Libya. Remember, the scripture says, when thou seest the spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. Libya was one of the last countries America spoiled. You know, Muammar Gaddafi. The only reason why America is not spoiling the way that they want to is because they can't. It's because Russia is a guard. Russia, China, you know, these different alliances between these powerhouses are a guard unto these lesser countries. Hills, you call them. Because the scriptures have mountains, which is great governments, and you have hills, which are smaller governments. These other varying mountains, Russia, China, they're guards into these other hills. All right? These smaller countries under their protection. So that's why America can't spoil you no more. Because that motherfucker will never stop spoiling. Like Obadiah says, and also in Jeremiah, if grape gatherers came to thee by night, wouldn't they spoil you until they had enough? Esau the goddamn Grinch. He gonna take everything. You know? So we'll see what's gonna happen. And look, and it's June. Now I did a lesson not too long ago maybe yesterday or the day before, speaking about that, like, you know, just to make mockery of what Nate said, Bishop Nathaniel said, what's that, 2016? It's June, ain't no microchip, right? But the month of June, especially in this year 2025, has had a lot going on. It's only the 12th. All right? You got about 2.5 more weeks left. And it's only the 12th of June. Here it is. You got these attacks already. With plans of there being more. All right? And this is on the cusp of Saturday, which is supposed to be you're supposed to defy the King Day, National Defiance Day, Flag Day, Donald Trump's birthday, America's 250th anniversary. And so it's a lot, you know. So anyway, with that, Lord's will, this was the edifying lesson of elect. All praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash, Shalom.